How important has graduating school been for your success, fellas? I'm an IB, which is a highly demanding system, and this shit is not applicable for anything in the real world apart from some minor aspects. So that's a question from Franklin. If you're wondering where this question comes from, it's from the interview I did with Richard Cooper. If you haven't seen that, check that shit out, man. It's fucking good. This is an important question, but this is the wrong question whatsoever. Because the problem with a lot of these questions, and I did many videos on this about post-secondary education, it's binary thinking, right? It's either a yes or a no. It's not good. The real question is, what the fuck do you want to do in your life? You know, for the most part, and I'm going to bring this up again, and if you look at René Girard's mimetic theory, we're following how other people think. It's rare for an individual, and Nietzsche talks about this, for an individual to truly be special, they have to be comfortable with being alone, right? Not listening to the herd, not listening to society, not listening to their religion, but comfortable in their own body and comfortable in their own mind by them fucking selves. Nobody around them. Difficult, my friend. Very difficult. Especially today when everybody has their phone and they're like this every fucking where. And so, question for you, in this case, already in school. My question to you, Franklin, is what do you want to do in your life, man? Like, come on. Like, this is the problem with how human beings think. We're very linear thinking as opposed to exponential thinking and thinking beyond the binary aspect. Because in this case, you might have loving parents or you might have a loving community. They want the best for you, but they're not educated, right? They're still thinking the old way, how they were brought up, right? Once again, mimetic thinking, right? So they might have been brought up, let's say, the 40s, 50s, etc. The context of that time is extremely different from the context today. Let's talk about a couple of things. Well, the marketplace is completely different. Globalization's here. Automation's here. The value that you learn in school has decreased. I think it's the tuition has gone up more than 18 times, not 18%, 18 times since our parents went to school. So the conditions and the context is completely fucking different. Yet people still regurgitate the same old thinking. And so, like for myself, you talk about, success for me, bro. I'm guessing because your name, you're a bro. Bro, listen, I didn't even fucking finish high school. I got kicked out end of grade 9. Yeah, end of grade 9, beginning of grade 10. So I went in the first week to grade 10 to call me in. They got kicked me out for many different fucking reasons. I never went back. I never finished college. I never went to university. I've been through a bunch of shit. Listen, I've been fucking shot at. I've been stabbed at. I've had run-ins with the law a bunch of times. I've OD'd a bunch of times in my life. Man, ups and downs, smiles and frowns. But I'm here and I learn from my mistakes, right? I'm autodidactic. Human mind works in very exponential ways as opposed to linear ways. So the question to you is, what do you want to do in life? How are you hardwired, right? Everyone's hardwired in a certain way. I'm a firm believer in we don't have true free will. We have a destined path. We can deviate a little bit in that path. For the most part, you are born with a certain hardware, right? Certain traits called these superpowers and certain weaknesses. And from your hardware, which is your DNA, you have epigenetics, which is your software, right? Your phenotype, how you look, how your software in your mind is, which you can constantly be upgrading and improving, right? Based on this spectrum within your DNA and your epigenetics, you can alter certain things, right? You need to figure out what your natural innate superpowers are and what the fuck you want to do in your life and where you're located, right? If you're located somewhere in Europe, your decisions will be different than if you're located here in Toronto. If you're located somewhere in Middle East, it's going to be fucking different. If you're located in Pakistan or India, it's going to be different. Or if you're located in China, it's going to be different. Once again, stop thinking in linear aspect. Like, for the love of God, everybody has to stop thinking either this is my only answer. There's a multitude of different answers. So the question for you, I'm not too sure for Richard, but for me, I never went to fucking school. I really, honestly fucking believe that post-secondary education, for the most part, is the worst ROI possible. I'd rather take that money and get mentors, take courses, one-off courses, and get real experience, because it's going to be difficult. The whole idea of job security, the whole idea that your 4-year diploma or degree is going to get you some form of employment, it's a fucking joke, man. Absolute joke. I really believe that universities don't get this. The speed at which our economy is changing, the speed at which demand is demanded upon employees is exponential. Post-secondary cannot fucking keep up with the economy. Cannot. Period. Absolutely period. Now, there's caveats to that. You know, my wife's a doctor. I can't just become a doctor. There's a regulatory moat there. So there's certain things that you have to go to school. Doctor, engineer, brain surgeon, you get the gist of it, right? But that's a pretty laser focused path. You know, literally, you're starting at like the end of high school, then going to your Bachelor of Science if you want to become a doctor. Then at the third, fourth year, you can jump into medical school. Same thing. If you want to become a lawyer, third year, you leave uni and then apply for law school, right? So that's a very straight path with a regulatory moat. Cool. That's like a small minority of the world. Majority of the world doesn't know what the fuck they're doing, right? My mommy and daddy told me to go to fucking university, and they go, and 98% of these people go for bachelor of what the fuck? I don't even know. When they walk out, well, I got a minor in this, major in that. I'm like, cool. What am I hiring for? What are your skills? Do you know how to manage people? Do you know how to do accounting? Do you know how to do proper marketing? Do you know how to do e-commerce, read analytics? Like, do you know how to do some type of basic fucking coding? Blah, 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 blah. Like, dude, what the fuck did you just learn in 4 years? Like nothing. It's a joke, and you're in debt, whatever, $40,000, $50,000. And so you need to make a plan, Franklin. You need to make a Franklin constitutional fucking plan. You need to figure out what you want to do in your life. Sit down and figure out where do I want to be in the next year or two? Forget 4 or 5 years, even a year. How about 1 year? Let's map it out like a company. Q1, right now it's Q1. So Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. Map out the Q4 constitutional plan of Franklin and see where you want to be, right? If you want to be financially free, you're not going to get that way working for somebody. I'll tell you that fucking much. You got to work for yourself and have equity. And I'm not just talking about equity in company. Equity can be in anything. The number one equity is equity in you, right? That's the most important thing. Out of anything in life, you should be focusing on yourself first, making yourself the best. Second equity is asset appreciation. So running a business, owning stock, owning raw commodities, etc., right? So equity. You're never going to get rich by working for somebody else. You got to own equity in all different types of forms, shapes, and forms. Okay. That's if you want to do that. Number 3 is like, listen, maybe you just want to have a good job. Well, cool. Find companies that just don't care about a piece of paper, right? Things are changing. Things are fucking changing. Companies are waking up. Because listen, at the end of the day, the reason the company hires you, they got to make money off you. It's called the 1-to-3 ratio, right? Every dollar the company invests in you, Mr. Franklin, they should be making back $3. And if they're not, well, you're not wanted anymore, right? And so I always preach this. If you really want to get ahead, join a startup and become a linchpin. The amount, you're not going to get paid that well, but hey, you can get paid, let's say 40, 50% under market rate. Get some equity in that fucking company. Now you get upside, right? You never know. You might be one of the 5% startups that take off. You just don't fucking know. Famous story is that painter built a mural in Facebook. He took, I don't know, a couple of, I think it was like 0.5. I don't know. He very early, like early on. Rest is history. You know, instead of him, I think he wanted to charge like $50K for the mural. He took $50K in stock, and you do the math. So that's really important. So getting that small equity within the startup, then learning the shit you can learn in a startup, man. Fuck the diploma. You know, most people, like I said, I don't know what in God's name they learn in school, but it actually scares me. So I hope you answer this. I hope this answers your question, Franklin. Is like, I never went to school. It serves no purpose. Unless you become like a lawyer, doctor, brain surgeon, engineer, one of those very specific stuff, then don't go to school. And listen, by the sounds of it, I don't know why you're treating yourself like this. Obviously, you don't fucking love yourself. If you think this shit is retarded, pardon my French, drop out, man. Get your fucking money back. Whatever you can, invest in other proper courses and mentors, man. And leave it at that, guys. Listen, guys. Listen. How do I put this? Start fucking respecting yourself, man. Like, I can't stress this enough. Like, this has nothing to do with blue pill, red pill, whatever that shit. This is applicable for everybody, male, female, whatever you want to label yourself out. Respect yourself. Love yourself, man. When you love yourself, you don't put up with bullshit. Your values are high. Your standards are high. And everything is a domino effect from that. Everything is a butterfly effect, right? You focus on yourself, your body, your mind, your spirit, and that perpetuates into your finances, your relationships with your friends. And stop worrying about how other people see you. Stop thinking about how society sees you and start valuing yourself. When you value yourself, right? When you build your constitutional value of you as an individual, everything else is easy, truth be told. And I'll leave it at that. Peace.